Hey guys, hi anyone out here. Today we'll be reviewing Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Nightbird. And let me say, this thing is basically a carbon copy of this thing, but with some extra steps, better looking, and slightly more accurate to this thing. But Nightbird here is a deluxe, quote unquote. And here she is compared to Studio Series Nightbird, who's also a deluxe. Nightbird is tiny. How she's considered a deluxe, I don't know. A Nightbird would be considered what was the old core class, because the old core class size, like old core class size, like around Combiner Wars and Titan's Return era core class size. So this is saying something. But yeah, but the figure overall, despite being way more kibble filled than the mainline and being a little bit more cluttered, with only one accessory this time instead of the little claw thing the mainline has. It's good. It's pretty detailed. I do like the chest, but boy are those wings small. But let's get to the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, like pretty free movement. Can't really look too far due to the weird headdress thingies and the front of the car kind of getting in the way. You can kind of see the eyes. This focuses right there, which is pretty cool. Like, you can move the wings around. They are on these little mushroom pegs. The shoulders are on ball joints, so pretty normal movement. Clearly unimpeded always. You can move the shoulder pads about that far out. The arm can go out that far. A bicep rotation, a slightly more than 90-degree bend, and now looking at it, yes, this arm is kind of small. And just like with the mainline, why is there no wrist swivel? It's not like with the mainline where there's a peg going like where the swivel would be. There's nothing going through it, so I don't get it. But there is a waist swivel, like that would be pretty impeded due to this backpack. You can move the hip skirts. The legs can go out that far. Pretty good kick, but is surprisingly not that impeded due to how the backpack is. You can have a pretty good split. Just like with the mainline, there is basically a double knee here for Nightbird, and her ankle pivot is weird, and there is some toe movement, but not a lot, just like with the mainline. So when it comes to accessories, unlike the mainline, there's a sword, and while the sword is better painted, is it me, or did this sword have yellow like running through the middle? And why do they only have one? Because in car mode, the weapon storage was clearly made for there being two of these, and you can even store the swords here on the hip skirts, all samurai style, and there's tabs on both hands for that. So why couldn't you give us two swords, just like Nightbird had in the movie? Come on. But I guess when it comes to size comparisons, here she is compared to to mainline Nightbird. Here she is compared to Wheeljack. I mean, you know, Pablo. And I guess for the sake of it, since I showed her already, here she is compared to Eraser. Now, let's get to that car mode. And here we have Nightbird and her car mode. And yeah, this is a licensed Nissan Skyline GTR. And it does look nice, I'll say. But if you didn't notice, here, like in the robot mode, like the spoiler was flipped. That's because, at least on my copy, this can come off. Don't know why. Like, I don't know if that's a thing with Nightbirds. But yeah, the spoiler can apparently come off. Don't know why that's a thing, but hey, it is. But yeah, you know, this is a licensed Nissan Skyline GTR, and let me say, those purple rims look good. I love those pinkish purple rims, bro. They look good. They're shiny, and yeah, I know, like the rims around the doors, like that nice shiny gold looks good. But bro, that pinkish purple looks, I like that. It looks so good. But yeah, you know, thankfully no real faux forming. But if you can tell, there is a slight discoloration here in the headlights and the rest of the car. And that is because, get this, it's clear plastic. Like, you wouldn't really notice it in robot mode, but this is clear plastic. Now, mind you, this is some pretty sturdy clear plastic, because I have messed with this figure a sheer amount of times, and it's withstood it so far. So, hey, it's good. I'll take it. But, yeah. When it comes to weapon storage, the sword can be placed here. There's 2 tabs right there, and you can place one sword in here, and oh look, there's another tab, possibly made specifically for 2 swords. But we don't have that now, do we? And let me say, despite the fact that, you know, the head is clearly peeking out here, it sucks. There's so much detail here, like beneath where the chest would be, that we never get to see in robot mode. It looks like actually so good, like a whole lot of hydraulics. Like, why do we not get to see this in robot mode? Like, I would love to see this in robot mode. Plus, you can see the neck a bit better now than you could before. But yeah, you know, it rolls pretty well with the sword and not. So yeah. When it comes to, well, size comparisons, here's Nightbird with Nightbird, and you can clearly tell which one is the better car. But yeah, a mainline Nightbird is a tad bit longer, but I mean, hey, like the mainline Nightbird is a bit bigger in robot mode, so it's gonna be at least a little bit longer in vehicle mode. Here she is next to Wheeljack, and which, to be honest, I do feel like this does kind of scale, to be honest. And mind you, the Wheeljack here is the mainline, not the Studio Series. So it does scale pretty well. And here is Nightbird by Eraser. And for Eraser basically being a big bird, this does scale, I feel like. So, yeah. That is all about Nightbird. I don't know, like, what else to say. It's a car. There's the little Terracon insignia right there. But, yeah, you know, it's Nightbird. it exists. It's, like I said at the start of the video, basically a carbon copy of this, but still a pretty decent figure. I'll see you in the next review.